Hello and welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss the monologue All the World's a Stage. Shakespeare was born in April 1564 in Stratford upon Avon in England. He is also known as the Bard of Avon. He has written 39 plays and 164 sonnets. All the World's a Stage is originally from Shakespeare's pastoral comedy by the name As You Like It. In the drama, Duke Senior, who is banished from the country, is living in the forest with his supporters. Jaques is one of them. He is also called as Melancholy Jaques because he is always in a melancholic mood. He is always sad and depressed. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. He is calling the world as a theatrical stage, just the way a stage artist enters the stage, performs his role, and then leaves the stage. The men and women are born in the world. They perform their roles, after which they die and leave the world. One man plays many roles in his life. A man's life is divided into 7 stages. Players are the drama artists, and a man plays 7 parts in his life. He plays 7 different characters in his lifetime. It was a trend among Shakespeare's contemporaries to divide everything into 7 parts. Now we will see each role or age in detail. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Mewling is the weak sound made by a cat. The baby's strange noises are here compared to a cat's sound. And then he says that the baby is always vomiting in the nurse's arms. He believes that all the infancy stage passes this way. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. The second stage is a schoolboy who is reluctant to go to school. He expresses his dislikes through his screams. He carries a shoulder bag and he has a shining morning face. Morning face refers to the curious and hyperactive nature that can only be associated with this age, that is, the age of a schoolboy. He is so reluctant and unwilling to go to school that his pace of walking is compared to a creeping snail. Then the lover, sighing like a furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. The third stage is a lover. He compares the lover's sigh with a furnace. Furnace is a place where a blacksmith makes fire. Here, the lover is so restless and unsettled. A ballad is a song written on a great person or an important event. Woeful ballad is a sad song. The lover writes a sad song on his mistress's eyebrows. In this stage, the lover is entranced by love. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like a pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. Next stage is a soldier, full of strange oaths. Oaths are promises. In this stage, the soldier is determined to accomplish many tasks, but his determination is volatile. Bearded like a pard. You can see a pard in the picture. A pard is a mythical animal. Medieval people believed that leopard was the offspring of a male pard and a female lioness. Leo and pard is leopard. The soldier was bearded like a pard. He expects everyone to respect him. He is short-tempered and can get into an argument anytime, anywhere, even in cannon's mouth. This means for temporary glory, he can expose himself to stupid and dangerous situations. Bubble reputation here means the reputation that he longs for is a temporary, short-lived reputation. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. He has a big belly. He is covering his belly with a coat which has a pocket. He has become fat by eating capon. Capons are roosters that are fed excessively to gain weight. You can see them in the photo. In fair round belly with good capon lined actually means he has become corrupt. He has started accepting bribe from those who want judgment in their favor, which means he has accumulated some wealth now. His eyes are serious and he has a well trimmed beard. His speech is full of wisdom and he is well aware of the contemporary affairs of the world. He is a man of the world now. This is the stage of a judge. The sixth stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Pantaloon is the name of a character in the Italian comedy Commedia dell'arte. The character Pantaloon is a stupid old man who wears women's pants. Pantaloon is a baggy trouser gathered at ankle, usually worn by women. He does not care about what he wears. The old man is wearing slippers, spectacles, and is carrying a money bag. Now he has become so lean that even the tights that he wore in his youth seems to be too big for him. He has lost muscle mass, he has lost volume. Adding to his physical changes, his voice has also undergone a tremendous change. From the manly voice, it has turned into a childish treble. Treble is medium pitch in music. His voice is not as loud as it used to be. Pipes and whistles is the extra sound that his throat makes while breathing. This is the stage of a pantaloon. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history. In his second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. The man who is playing a role on the stage has now come to the end of the play. He is playing the last scene of the play. That is, he has almost reached his end, the end of his life. Eventful history because he has lived through all the stages of life and has experienced life widely. He is unaware of what is going on around him now. He has lost all his teeth. His eyesight is poor. The food is not appetizing anymore. Sans everything means nothing holds any value in his life anymore. This is the last and final stage in a man's life. Now we will look at the figures of speech used as poetic devices in this poem. Poem does not use any rhyme scheme, but it's filled with internal rhyming, filled with consonants and assonance. It has used words like players, plays, parts, exits, entrances, acts, ages, mewling, puking, whining, shining, creeping, sighing, maid, mistress, woeful, quarrel, bubble. These words add rhyming effect to the poem. Most of you know how to find out a simile. When you see words like as, like used to compare two things, it's a simile. Creeping like a snail, here the pace at which the schoolboy walks is compared to a creeping snail. In sighing like a furnace, the lover's sigh is compared to a hot furnace. And bearded like a pard, the soldier's beard is compared to the beard of a pard. The next and the most important poetic device used in this poem is metaphor. Metaphor is comparing the attributes of two different things. In the first line, the world is called a stage, a theatrical stage, which is a metaphor. First 5 lines of the poem can be the best example for extended metaphor. The other one can be from Romeo and Juliet, where Romeo compares Juliet with the sun and then compares the sun with the moon. First line, the world is compared to a stage, and in the second line, all the men and women are compared to players, to actors. In the third line, the birth and death of men and women are compared to exits and entrances. And finally, the several stages in a human being's life is compared to the acts in a play. This way, the other metaphors are continuation of the first metaphor, stage. This is called as extended metaphor. The next metaphor is seeking the bubble reputation. Bubble reputation is a metaphor because the reputation is short-lived and temporary. Second childishness is another metaphor. Here, he is comparing the character traits of a child to the character traits of an old man. And he is calling old age as second childishness. Next one is hyperbole. Hyperbole is exaggerating something too much. Mewling and puking. When he talks about infancy, he says the baby always mews and pukes. A baby doesn't do that all the time. So this is definitely an exaggeration. This is a hyperbole. Next one is ballad on his mistress's eyebrows. This is an exaggeration of the love he has for his mistress. He talks about the soldier. He says seeking reputation in the cannon's mouth. This is an exaggeration of the soldier's stupidity to expose himself to dangerous situations. In the pantaloon stage, the youthful tights no more fits him. So he says, a world too wide. The tights cannot be that big for him. It's an exaggeration. These are the hyperboles used in the poem. The next one is imagery. When he describes the stage of a judge, he says, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut. This provides a visual imagery. We can actually visualize a judge. And when he talks about the stage of a pantaloon, he says, slippered pantaloon. And he says, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. So with these descriptions, we can envisage a pantaloon. Imagery is found in every stage, a schoolboy, lover, soldier, and second childishness. In every stage, we find imagery. He gives us a detailed description of every stage about the physical appearance of the person and also the mannerisms. Next, alliteration and all start with A, plays many parts with P, schoolboy, satchel, and shining face with S, quicken quarrel with Q, shrunk shank with S. The next figure of speech is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet means the adjective does not qualify the noun which follows it, but it qualifies another noun in the same sentence. In the shining morning face, shining does not refer to the face that shines in the morning, but it refers to the cheerful and lively childhood. In youthful hose, his tights is not youthful, but it's the tights that he wore when he was youthful, when he was young. In lean and slippered pantaloon, the pantaloon is not lean and slippered, but the old man has become lean and he is wearing slippers. And in strange eventful history, history is not strange eventful, but it's the life of the man which is strange and eventful, and now it is history. Then we see repetition. The word sans is repeated again and again. Next one is metonymy. Metonymy is parts referring to whole. Cannon's mouth refers to the whole battlefield. Next one is personification. The entire poem is the personification of time. Irony. irony of the poem is a stage actor who's now on the stage is talking about the world, comparing it with the stage, and an actor is comparing the men and women with actors. So it's an irony. Next one is ellipsis. Instead of saying with spectacles on his nose and pouch on his side, he is saying with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, eliminating the word his. I hope you all understood the poem very well. For more such videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, like the video and share the video with your classmates. See you in next class.